The biggest spider in the world, but only one size, monster size.
Blink of an eye, it takes off and dashes away, sprinting on top of the water.
Today, we will look at some of the most bizarre animals found in the Amazon rainforests, from creatures that look monstrous to animals that have left even scientists
So if this was hanging on a tree, like the one you found down in the Amazon,
riddled with questions. There is a lot in the Amazon that will leave you gaping in awe. Let's get started. Number 1, the strange animal carcass. A group of locals spotted something peculiar lying on the forest floor. When they got near the creature, it looked dead. But what no one can figure out is, what is this strange creature? The tiny animal seems to have small hooves, a giant bulging head, and scaly skin. That's not all. Its head was almost black, and its tiny slit-like eyes were wide open, as if staring back at the locals. The nose was pushed back as well. None of it added up. Some think that it is a calf with a peculiar disorder, while others think that it is a deformed capybara. What do you think? Number 2, Idid moth cocoon. This is one of the most fascinating and shocking sights that you'll see in nature. This cocoon, unlike the usual ones, is partially open. It is to allow the airflow to go over the pupa.
And the difference really isn't that great. The inside the cocoon is actually your pupa.
But another thing that this cocoon does is offer this magnificent sight that is not quite visible in other animals. Number 3, the Jesus Christ lizard. Meet the common basilisk, also known as the Jesus Christ lizard. Yep, that's what it's called because it has a special superpower. When in a hurry, the lizard can run up to impeccable speeds. Experts claim that it can sprint away, covering 5 feet in a single second.
Bicycling across the surface of the water and propelling the tiny lizard up to 15 feet, covering more than 10 times its own body length in a single second.
The interesting thing is that this lizard does it in a way that makes it seem like it is running on water. The lizard has pretty long toes at the rear end of its feet, along with steady skin fringes. This power duo helps create air pockets on the surface of the water, lifting the lizard to showcase a miracle in nature. Number 4, the peanut bug. This guy is the weirdest of all the insects in the Amazonian forest. It is known as the peanut bug because of its weirdly shaped head. Well, it is not actually its head, but only an elongated structure branching off of its true head. This structure is assumed to be hollow and serves as a defense tactic against predators. Even if its fake head is nipped, it gives the bug enough time to flee before the predator lunges for its head. The peanut bug does not have a fierce bite. It cannot defend itself against the large animals. So, it relies on camouflage as its primary weapon. Its fake head resembles a snake or a lizard from the side, fooling the predators into thinking there is a reptile lurking nearby. If that doesn't work, the bug opens up its wings that have a large eye-shaped design stamped on them. That scares away the predators for good. Otherwise, there's always the stinking spray handy. Number 5, the sensitive red howler monkey. Next up, we have the red howler monkeys, and they are pretty special. As the name goes, they howl. They scream so badly that they are considered the loudest monkeys in the world. If you want a bit of context, their screams can be heard nearly 3 miles down the road. Almost all of their senses are pretty heightened. They can smell ripe fruit even if they are a mile away and get startled at the slightest noise. Plus, these strange monkeys can use their tails as a third hand to grab food. But there's more to the list of unique traits these monkeys have. They also take the crown of being the largest monkeys in the world. Number 6, the Potu Bird. The Potu Birds are one of the most haunting birds you'll see today. They look as if you've caught them red-handed while stealing your food. But that's just how they are, wide-eyed and loud. They are pretty amazing at sneaking in broad daylight. They will sit upright in trees, trying to imitate the branches or the tree stumps. They sit like that all day for long hours and might even sleep in that position. But be aware, they can see even when their eyes are closed. When night comes, the birds go out with their wide and dark mouths to hunt for their next meals. Number 7. The poison dart frog. These tiny frogs look cute, but are one of the most toxic animals on the planet. It has enough venom to kill nearly 10 humans, 20,000 mice, or 2 African elephants. And all it takes is 2 milligrams of the poison to kill a single human. Their venom is so poisonous that it is used by hunters as darts. Out of the parents, the male is the one taking care of the babies. The tiny tadpoles need water to survive and grow. Whenever the tiny pods run out of water, the tadpoles hitch a ride with their dad to go to the next pod with enough water. Number 8. The Harpy Eagle. These are Harpy Eagles, one of the largest and the most powerful eagles in the world. Their talons are massive, about 3 to 4 inches long. If you want a bit of context, they are the same size as the claws of the grizzly bear.
Harpy eagles are longer than many full-grown humans are tall, with a wingspan of about 2 meters across.
These talons surely come in their use to grab animals like a small monkey for their next meal. Eating a whole monkey has a lot to do with their bulky diet. They need to eat nearly 2 pounds of food in a day. If that means hunting every day, then the Harpy Eagle will most likely be on the prowl daily. Number 9. The Giant Centipede. You have probably seen tiny centipedes all your life. If that's the case, I do not advise you to go to Amazon. These giant centipedes are true to their names, growing up to a foot long. They are not just massive, but also quite agile. You won't find them going after some meek prey. No, they are in for the big game, attacking birds, bats, frogs, and rats for their next meals. Their special feet have tiny pincers that help grab the victim and inject the unique blend of venom into its body. This venom is quite distinct from snakes and spiders, leaving the victim helpless, even if the victim is bigger than the centipede. But here is the most fascinating yet scary thing about these animals. They have not left bats either, if that could come in handy for their dinner.
We don't want you to think that centipedes are venom-spewing, 100-legged baby killers. I mean, the females can be devoted moms.
In the deep ends of the caves where bats live, they will hang down the caves and lunge at the bats in the air. Yep, their growing length is not the only scary thing about them. Number 10. The Giant Anaconda. Footage of a massive anaconda was recorded by locals, swimming across the flooded road and onto the other side. Locals claim that it stretched up to nearly 50 feet. It wouldn't be a false claim, though. There are reports of anaconda nearly 60 and 70 feet long, with a massive girth. So, if this is real, it wouldn't be a big surprise. Number 11. The mysterious sea creature, YouTube. A group of fishermen were out on their boat when they caught something strange. This massive creature had a large mouth and an even longer tail. It looked like the mythical creatures people talk about. The pinkish skin didn't help its cause either. People are calling it a weird sea monster. What do you think it is? Number 12. Capibara, the massive rodent. The capybara is the largest rodent in the world, weighing more than 100 pounds. The biggest capybara ever recorded was nearly 200 pounds. If you want a bit of context, the capybara is almost equal to a small dog. These animals are quite fascinating. Even with their bulky weights, they can run quite fast. Plus, they can use their noses as snorkels, taking short naps underwater. But they can take a long dive if needed, holding their breath in the river for almost 5 minutes. That's not all. Their diet is pretty grainy. They cannot digest it at one time, so they eat their poop to take in the bacteria that can help them digest food better. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it. Number 13. The vampire fish. Though they are not the only vampire-type beings in the world, they are the only ones in Amazon. Called the Payara, they can stretch up to 3 feet in length. Their most distinctive feature is the many fangs on their large mouths that can easily pierce the body of a human if they want. Their fangs are easily 6 inches long, and they are found lurking deep in the Amazonian River. Number 14. The giant river otter. These fish-eating animals are massive. They can grow up to nearly 6 to 7 feet in length and weigh up to nearly 70 pounds. The giant river otters are well adapted to aquatic life, having waterproof fur, a tail as a rudder, and the ability to close their eyes and nose under the water. Don't worry, their highly sensitive whiskers can help them maneuver down in the river. Their behavior is quite interesting. They can exhibit more than 20 vocalizations or alarms that are all different from one another. This comes in handy when an outsider tries to sneak into their group. Yeah, they are not a big fan of going outside the family. Number 15. Decoy building spider. This spider is unlike anything you've seen before. It got the scientists stumped too. On a random day, scientists spotted a giant spider on the web and thought it was dead. When they got closer, they were startled by a tiny spider near the decoy. They got to digging and discovered something strange.
Spider, you win. Eat me up.
This tiny spider builds giant fake spiders from debris, leaves, and dead insects. The doppelgangers are too perfect, with a head, an abdomen, and even multiple limbs. Although there are many sculpting spiders out there, there is no spider that builds replicas of itself. Researchers think that the spider does it to defend itself from the dangers of the jungle, but aren't sure about it. There have only been 25 such spiders spotted, and the mystery continues to baffle scientists. Number 16. 10 feet tall beings. In the hilltops of Brazil, a group of hikers spotted something unreal. Standing at the top of the hill were 2 towering figures, nearly 10 feet tall. They were moving pretty quickly for humans. Hikers claim that it was almost impossible to go where they were standing, yet they showed no signs of distress or tiredness while climbing. They looked nothing like humans and had pretty long and slender limbs. What are these mysterious beings? Can you guess? Number 17. The most bizarre bird. YouTube. The Hoatzin is an evolutionary mystery. It stands lonely on its family tree, being the only bird in the whole order. Its strange habits have something to do with that. Like many birds, Hoatzin also has wing claws, but no bird uses them to climb trees like this bird does. Why would they need claws in the first place? Well, they can't exactly fly. They do have wings, but their bulky diet and huge weight sort of dampens their desire for flying. If that's all strange, hear this. The Hoatzin has a diet, unlike any other bird. It needs time to digest the food. This is why it has a special organ at the front of the digestive system that helps with digestion after it has eaten, pretty much like cows and goats. Having that diet, it smells of cow manure too. Yep, that's the reason people call it the stink bird. Number 18. The animals with a mustache. Looking like Shifu from Kung Fu Panda, these animals are called the Emperor Tamarin. They are known for their incredible white mustache that goes all the way down to their shoulders. You can spot them from a distance only through their mustaches. Number 19. The Redbellied Pania. These fish are very tiny, about 8 to 9 inches in length, but can grow up to a foot long. But they are one deadly predator. Their entire bodies are gray, covered in silver scales, but the undersides of their chin and belly are slightly pink to red in color. These fish have a pretty unique set of vocals. You can hear at least 4 sounds out of their mouths. Another distinctive trait is the set of teeth in their jaws, triangular and razor sharp. They travel in packs, but they are not as vicious as the movies have made them. They move in groups as a defense tactic, not to launch after the prey. Number 20. The Spangled Cotinga. These are the most unique yet exotic birds found in the Amazon. Look at their bodies. Have you ever seen a combination of colors put so perfectly together? These birds have a turquoise body with a deep purple throat, setting them as perfect examples of how nature can be remarkably beautiful. The birds are pretty tiny, about 7 to 8 inches, and feed on small fruits to keep them soaring in the winds. Number 21. The Royal Flycatcher. This bird is quite unique and distinctive. You can spot them from afar thanks to their incredible crest at the top of their heads. The crest only has 6 brown feathers.
The crest is composed of 6 feathers, which are typically brown in color with bright red, blue, or orange tips.
But their tips can make these crests quite colorful and unique from one another. The tips can be bright blue, orange, or red. You won't always find the crest on these birds. When the bird is calm, the crest is lowered and is almost near its head. But when it feels threatened or wants to mate, the crest lifts up. These birds are also known to develop quite intricate nests that hang from the branches of a tree. They are evidently visible. Number 22. The Pink Dolphins. These dolphins are pretty strange. They have the weirdest colors in the book that you'll never find on another dolphin. From pale blue to off-white and pink, these dolphins have a lot to keep you mesmerized. The pink ones are found in the Amazon. They are also the largest freshwater dolphins in the world, growing up to nearly 9 feet in length. These dolphins, although nearly blind, are pretty great swimmers. They can rotate to about 180 degrees because of their free-moving spine. You don't even have to go to the deep waters to find them. Many of them can take a swim in the shallow waters too. Number 23. The side-neck turtles. You've probably only seen turtles that tuck away their tiny necks in their shells, but that's not the case for these turtles with long and slender necks. They are also called snake-neck turtles, and I'm sure you can guess why. But some of the side-neck turtles do not have such long necks. These turtles do not just rely on plants. They also like to munch on worms, insects, fishes, and even crabs. What's interesting about these animals is their tears. The side-neck turtle's tears have an adequate amount of salt. This is why a few species of butterflies and other animals like to drink their tears to improve their salt intake. Number 24. The Waxy monkey tree frog. You see this frog? It might have a better skincare routine than you do. The frog is called the Waxy monkey tree frog and is often found at the top of trees, drowsing off. It sleeps for hours under the hot sun, potentially harming its porous skin. Frogs usually do not stay in the sun because they need a bit of moisture to keep their skin alive. So, the Waxy monkey tree frog has come up with the perfect solution to keep sleeping under the sun without attracting any danger to its skin. It produces a waxy substance that acts as a sunblock. This clip shows a thorough process of the frog applying the sunblock on its body. How fascinating is that? Number 25. The pink-toed spider. This spider is all black, except for the pink coloring on the end of each of its 8 legs.
And a bunch of pink toes in a vivarium looks awesome as they all kind of cluster together and those beautiful pink highlights come out.
Tarantulas usually come out at night, but that's not the case for this one. It likes to go about its day during daytime, giving a good chance for spotters to find it. Would you mind having this fluffy spider at your house? You'd be surprised at how many people already keep it as a pet. Number 26. The giant black caiman. The black caiman has the honor of being the largest predator in the Amazon ecosystem. They can grow up to nearly 40 feet. These animals are pretty great at hiding, and their black scales are one reason why you'll rarely be able to spot them. What gives their hiding spot away are the tiny eyes staring back at you from above the river. The caimans have a big diet. They can eat anything that will come near them, leaving no chance for the unfortunate victim to flee. From cattle, giant otters, horses and monkeys, to even pythons and armadillos. I think it's safe to say that you should steer clear of the black caiman. Number 27. The bullet ants. These ants are the largest ants and have the most poisonous stings in the entire world. Experts claim that the pain you feel after being bit by a bullet ant is equal to getting shot. The pain that follows after the sting lasts for the whole day, which is why sometimes they are also called the 24-hour ant. Many tribes try to showcase their strength by enduring the bite of the bullet ant. I wouldn't suggest doing it. Plus, they live in colonies of hundreds, which isn't the best thing for the victim. When one ant bites, it releases a chemical that sends all the other ants into a frenzy, forcing them to launch after the same victim. Number 28, the Arapaima. Arapaima is the largest freshwater fish in the world, growing up to nearly 10 feet in length. They are extremely bulky. Experts claim that its weight is equivalent to about 2 baby elephants combined. But that's not all that's strange about this fish. Since it lives in waters where there is low oxygen, the fish has a creative solution to counter the problem. It rises to the water's surface, gulps air, and gets oxygen from the air instead of the water. In the same water, there are hundreds of prey that are sluggish because of the low oxygen levels. This gives the Arapaima the sweet chance to eat as much as it wants. Number 29, the Goliath bird eating spider. I know what you're thinking. A spider that eats birds? Don't worry, that's not what this spider does, but that doesn't mean it is not vicious. This spider is the largest spider in the whole world, growing up to a foot long. This massive monster does not even need a web. It goes on a hunt on its feet and creeps up to its next prey, devouring them whole. It can gobble up rodents, insects, and even frogs. If that's scary, hear this. Their fangs are easily an inch long. They can pierce through the flesh of their prey, keeping them on hold until their next ferocious bite comes into play. That's when the venom releases, turning the inside of the animal into liquid and allowing the spider to suck the body dry. It may bite a human, but it is not toxic to us. Sigh. Number 30. Tapir, the living fossil. This animal is so ancient that it has been here for millions of years. It saw the extinction of many animals, but is now endangered in the wild. The tapir is a living fossil and is a close relative of rhinos and horses. But it is known for its wiggly nose that has a lot of uses for the animal. It can be used to pick up leaves during foraging and even as a snorkel when they go out for a swim in the water. The tapirs have a total of 14 toes, 4 on the front feet and 3 on the hind feet. It helps them dart away at a blazing speed in the forest. They are sometimes called mountain cows by locals because of their bulky size. Each tapir can weigh up to 300 to 700 pounds. Number 31. The Paradise Tanager. This is another exotic bird from the Amazon that has a multicolored body. They have black wings, beaks, napes, and tails, but the rest of their bodies have a completely different tone of colors. Most of the shades are neon, giving them a striking appearance in the wild. You will spot a green or yellow mask on their faces, purple throats, bright blue chests and bellies, and a red patch on their backs. What's interesting is that they can mingle with groups of other species, like they are long-lost friends. There isn't a lot that's known about this bird. Scientists are still trying to figure them out. Number 32. The sneaky bull shark. These sharks are pretty strange, but also scary. Known as bull sharks because of their blunt and rounded snouts, they are pretty aggressive. More importantly, they can live in both freshwater and seawater.
First look at a bull shark, it doesn't really jump out at you that it's a bull shark. It just kind of looks like other sharks, kind of grayish brown on top, white below.
So, you can find them in rivers and lakes too. Because of this versatile ability, they have been around for millions of years. They have been part of the ocean for nearly 420 million years. Another strange fact about these animals is that they are constantly changing their teeth, probably to better lunge at their prey. A single bull shark may lose about 30,000 teeth in its life on average. Number 33. The horned screamer. These birds are loud as you can guess from their name. They have a distinct call that can feel like a cry echoing in the wild. They have unusually large feet that are partially webbed, making them great swimmers. What's special about these birds is that their bodies have much more air sacs than other birds. Even its toe bones are hollow. This is why when the bird moves, It creates a cackling sound, like when someone cracks their knuckles. Despite the name, these birds are not born with horns, but the unicorn-shaped horn grows as the bird grows, eventually coming up to 6 inches in length. The horn is not a good weapon though, mainly for show. It may break apart multiple times in the bird's life, but will grow back again. That's all, folks. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Which creature did you like the most? Is there any that scared you? Which one would you like to see if you ever explored the Amazon? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear back from you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.